Now you get to be introduced, finally, to someone who's going to be fairly important for the rest of the Germany topic, Adolf Hitler. If you didn't know, Adolf Hitler is not German. He is from Austria-Hungary, or Austria as it was then called, and he basically moved to Germany because he wanted to find work, didn't get into art school and stuff. He lived in Munich, and he became a soldier during the First World War, a messenger soldier, but he was fighting for Germany in the First World War. At the end of the war, Hitler still worked for the army, and the army sent him to go and look at a group called the German Workers' Party. This German Workers' Party was an extreme political group that wanted to take over and run Germany, and Hitler's job was to go and figure out what they were doing. They talked about ideas that the German people had been betrayed by their government. They said things that the Germany could have won the war, and that Germany was the best country in the world, and that Germany was being held back by the people in charge. And Hitler resonated with these ideas. He agreed with them. He was an ex-soldier. He thought Germany could win the war, and he believed them. And actually, Hitler ended up giving up his job at the army to join the German Workers' Party. Within a few years, the party was kind of dominated by Hitler's ideas, and he ended up becoming the leader within a few years. Hitler changed the way this party worked. He gave them a symbol, the swastika, as a bit of a visual aid for people to remember them by, and brought in more and more different ways of advertising, propaganda, speeches, marches, rallies, and famously he introduced a number of groups that would beat other people up to basically stop them talking about their ideas so that only people would hear the Nazi ideas instead. Hitler's game plan was to increase the amount of people in the Nazi Party, and he managed to get the Nazi Party to maybe about 5,000 members, which is tiny. It's probably about 1 or 2% of the German population. So Hitler was nowhere close to taking over Germany politically. No one was going to vote the Nazis into power. So Hitler decided in 1923 to take matters into his own hands. He thought, you know what? I can take over Germany. So in 1923, Hitler and a number of other people attempted to take over Munich in what's known as the Munich Putsch. Putsch meaning rebellion. The Nazi Party attempts to take over Munich. What they do is they burst in to the German main government, where a man is speaking in a beer hall, called Gustav von Kahr. He is the head of the Bavarian government, the area of Germany that Munich's in, and they take him captive. They arrest him and claim that they are going to break into every government office in Munich and install the Nazis in power. And once they take over Munich, they're going to march to Berlin, take over Berlin, and take over, well, the rest of Germany. This was the plan. Hitler made very big, gracious speeches. He was a very powerful speaker after all, and many people agreed with him. And after hearing this, Gustav von Kahr basically said, all right, fine, I'll help you. Absolutely, I'll help you take over Germany. And once he was released from his arrest, and basically pretty much called the police straight away, not the Free Corps, but the German army appeared outside Munich when Hitler basically wanted to go and march to Berlin, and they were instantly shot down. There was, I think, 13 Nazis killed and a few armed officers as well. Hitler broke his arm and was arrested. It was a failure. But the thing is, the Munich Putsch lets us know about how Hitler changes the game plan. See, it turned Hitler into a bit of a celebrity, because this was quite a dramatic thing to take over a city and get in a firefight with the police. Hitler was put on trial in public. His trial was done on the radio. Basically, you would listen to the news and you'd hear Hitler talking about his ideas on the radio in court to be put in prison. Hitler got to speak to pretty much everyone in Germany during that time, and just like previous political assassinators earlier, Hitler was given a very light sentence. He could have been executed for the crimes that he committed, but he was only given about 3 to 5 years in prison, and he actually only served 9 months of that. Hitler got away with it, basically, and he used that time in prison to write a book, which could then be sold and read by people so that they could hear his political ideas as well. And essentially, it changed Hitler's game plan, because it made Hitler realise that physically and violently taking over a country was not possible. Cat Putsch failed, Red Rising failed, assassinations failed, and his Munich Putsch had failed. It was not possible to turn up with guns and make people do as you say. And for the future method, Hitler realised he needed to actually get people to vote him in, to legally allow Hitler to take over the country, which means Hitler needed to get some more support. And for the next few lessons, in the background, Hitler is silently building up support for the Nazi Party during these later stages. This is what you need to know. It's a beginning of what's to come later, and it's a turning point for Hitler and the Nazi Party, and I'm not kidding, they are more than half of this course, so you do need to know about this for sure. So just tell me the answers to these questions to revise this topic properly. What was Hitler's life like before the war? Why was Hitler engaging with the German Workers' Party? What did Hitler do to change the party? What was the Munich Putsch? What were the consequences of the Putsch? And why might the Putsch be seen as both a failure and a success for Hitler? If you know those answers, you know what to do. Good luck, and I'll see you later.